All right, here we are with P.O.D, Cosmos Gaming, Fans for Bands at the Rock on the Range Festival. Can you start off just by saying your name and what you do in the band?
I am Trey Daniels. I'm the bass player for P.O.D.
I'm Sonny. I'm the throat for P.O.D.
All right, excellent. So I mean, obviously, this is a scene that you guys have played in the past. You guys haven't been around for a little while. What's it like finally coming in and like just seeing like the type of crowd you're gonna be playing to again in like a few hours?
It's all the same, man. We've been doing this for so long, you know what I mean? Like you said, we did take a little break. We do this for the love of it. You know what I mean? That's the only reason why we play music. You can put us on any stage that you want. Our connection with the fans and just our vibe with the music is different. It's not the same. Every album sounds the same. Every band sounds the same. It's like we've been doing this for so long. We're a SoCal band. We mix so many different nationalities and flavors of music, and I think it's people see us having fun.
Yeah.
What we do, and it just connects well.
So I mean, when you guys were around before, there's a lot of hype around you. You guys you've been all over the world. So were you guys taking a break to kind of like just catch up with yourselves, to just kind of give yourself a break, or what was the initial reasoning for kind of like taking a step back?
I think there's a lot of reasons why, man. I mean, we could go forever, man, but I really think sometimes, man, you just need to disconnect.
Yeah.
We've been on the road for a long time with each other. You know, for us as a band, our families have always come first. So the first and foremost thing in our band, as far as how we function outside of our families when we're doing the P.O.D thing, is our family. And then it's also our, personal relationship, our spiritual personal relationship with God. It's having all that stuff lined up. And sometimes you got to step back and just kind of recharge. And that's kind of, I think, what we just needed to do.
No, definitely. Do you guys feel like now that you're coming back, are you guys way re-energized? Do you feel like you're going to come out and just give it your all? It's going to be insane, or?
Yeah, I do, man. I think, with this overall, the rock and roll hype, and then it's like the false image that it puts out to even the fans and the people that come out and they buy into this whole facade of rock and roll. And it's like, for us, we went from guys playing out of garage, touring in a band, paying dues, you know what I mean? It's not like we became a success overnight, and we paid dues for a long time. And then you start to see the hype of it, the MTV, the magazines, the red carpet, the Grammys, all that kind of stuff. And then all of a sudden it becomes this business and this big old corporation. And it's like, wow, and it's business usual, but we're still going through life as just guys and, and men, and trying to, like Trey said, balance everything from family to just who we are as people, our faith in God, the whole night. And so it's just a big smorgasbord of everything. And it's like, yo, if I don't take time off and stop smashing things on the business as usual, rock and roll business, that's why all these guys get fried out, and you hear the horror stories of rock and roll because everybody indulges so much into the hype, they lose themselves in the process. And it's like a 99% ratio. It's the rock and roll story, you know what I mean? So for us, it was just you cut out.
You gotta take care of yourself.
It's gotta be fun. It's gotta be about love. It's gotta be, us enjoy doing it and not playing because you're paying me to pitch.
Yeah. I mean, it's obvious with the type of lyrics you have, like Youth of the Nation, Alive. I mean, you guys really appreciate life. You guys really have a community feel to your music. So when you guys were starting out, just like in the garage, just kind of like, hey, we want to do a band, not like, what was the, like, I guess, ideals? What was your vision for what you wanted to bring to the world? What were your thoughts, just like what you wanted P.O.D to be all about?
Kids, dude. I mean, we were all kids listening to hardcore bands, reggae bands, punk bands, and it was like all the music that we listened to was saying something to us, being guys that came from the hood. We weren't into like this white music or metal and all this stuff. It's like we were listening to bands that were speaking to us, you know what I mean? But we love that aggression and that punk rock attitude. And for us, not being like these guys that grew up in the church, even that kind of stuff, but we're making transitions in our life. Our faith was becoming real. Our community was real. Our connection to the streets was real. And it was like, we can make music and people listen to us. And it's like, we're not going to say the same old stuff that 99.9% of these bands are saying. It's like, we're going to go out and we're going to try to speak life into people, talk about real things, love, stuff that we're going through as kids, you know what I mean? And trying to balance the whole good and evil thing. And so we just started talking about it. We never came out and claimed to be like this type of band or that type of band. We were just singing about the stuff that we believed in, that we knew. And then people, that's when people label, oh, you're this kind of band, and what's your message to all this stuff? And it's like, we're just trying to love one another, trying to love God in the process and not go crazy.
For
Yeah,
sure.
we didn't know there was all the categories, I don't think, in the beginning.
Yeah.
You know, and I think, like Sonny said, they kind of, everybody put us in the category, but at the time, just playing a rock band, that was it. It just so happens that we're also believers too. But our thing was not necessarily to go out and have any specific, like, crazy agenda. I think it was just to go out and make a difference in people's lives, in the simplest form, and just be true to ourselves. And at the end of the day, we have to answer to our families and our God and everything. Just be true to ourselves. So.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, with the progression of your music, you guys obviously were given the opportunity to really get your sound out to the masses of people. So, I mean, that gives you a whole lot of chances to really touch on people's lives. So I gotta ask, throughout of all your touring, has there been any one thing that like happened to a fan or a letter or a moment that you'll never forget that just like really touched you and you knew it was from your music directly?
Dude, for me, speaking like for me, was the only reason why I continue to go forward like with this band, because there's countless stories. It's not like one, you know what I mean? There's countless stories when we're going through our own garbage and just everything, and then some kid is like, dude, I was gonna blow my brains out, and then Alive came on the radio and I did it. And that's not one story, that's over and over, you know what I mean? Hey dude, like I stopped using heroin, and it was like, so did my kids and my wife and my husband, and because of this music. And so that's when it has nothing to do with me or Trey or P.O.D. as people. It's just, dude, this is the power of God that we believe in, that he can make himself real through even music, and even through this kind of music, you know what I mean? It's like we're not preachers and trying to go out and tell people, obviously the world is ending today as we know.
Yeah.
We don't do that, you know what I'm saying? It's like we're telling you, we're jacked up, but like God's love is it's good, you know what I mean? It keeps me balanced, and like people started relating to that, and when we were playing shows when we were 18, 19 years old in the backyard, we were trying to connect with the people then. We didn't think, one day we're going to be on stage, we're going to go around the world, there's going to be millions of people. It's like, dude, we're trying to connect with you, because this is what's happening. This is the moment. We only get this moment right here. If we don't connect right now, there's no bigger plan, as far as I was concerned. I'm going to reach the masses with this message. She was like, dude, I'm connecting with you. I mean, like, this is what starts right here. Me and you, us and this band loving each other, and then playing music, we have a connection.
Yeah.
Where this goes tomorrow, that's on you.
Yeah, the number is way too many. It's too vast. Like, so you're saying, I mean, there's a ton of stories. I mean, how much time you got?
Incredible.
But I don't think we ever, as a band, imagined that it would get to where it got, because I don't think we planned on it getting to where it got necessarily. We've always kind of lived in a moment, just tried to be real in the moment of what we're doing, and just enjoy, playing with each other and doing what we do. So.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like you guys are really humbleized. I mean, the Grammys, all that isn't the main focus on your mind right now. So, I mean, since you've seen the top successes, you've obviously come from the bottom. You've been out of the game, now you're back in the game. What are just like some future goals? Like, what are you guys aiming for now? Obviously you want to touch people with your music. It's clear that you're saying that, but what other goals do you have right now, if there's any?
My goal over the last 4 years, the one thing I've learned is I need to be where I'm supposed to be, wherever that's at. Even if I don't even understand why I'm there, that's what my goal is, to be where I'm supposed to be. And that's on a spiritual tip. Just where you're supposed to be, as where you're supposed to be, give 100% in it when you're in it.
I think for us too, success or failure, it's like we're in this thing till the wheels fall off. You know what I mean? I feel like we're the underdogs again, and like that's the best place for us to be. Like Trey said, we never had any type of plans to do that. We just played our music. And there's people that came to us and said, dude, I dig you guys' stuff. I like the vibe. I feel where you guys come from. Like, it's cool. And now we're kind of back in that mix. We took a little hiatus. All these little whatever bands whatever you want to call them, all come up and they try to make it all in the scene now, doing their rock and roll glam stuff, and it's like, dude, that stuff's hype. It's all hype. We walked on every red carpet, traveled around the world over and over again. It's hype. It's all hype if you're not grounded, if you're not rooted, because you're just gonna get lost in the mix. Before you know it, you wonder what the hell happened, and you got no roots, you got no foundation. And so for us, keep it locked in. God, love, our family, and the process. Keep it moving. And that's why we're here today.
Definitely. With the future, like with future records or anything, have you guys been affected at all by just like the chaos going around the world. You know, obviously there's like hype on 2012. Today's the rapture. You know, there's like
Ain't the rapture, it's Judgment Day.
Judgment Day. Well, there's all this stuff going on. Is any of your music in the future going to be reflecting any stuff going on like that, or?
I mean, you know what? I think it all blends into one. I mean, obviously we're feeling that. Dude, we had like a South American tour canceled, a European tour canceled, and it's like, dude, all we can do is make music for the moment. You know what I mean? We're going through this stuff. There's so many crazy things out there. It's like, just pick one and touch on it. You know what I mean? But for us, it's whatever touches us right now in this moment.
All right. Well, I only got one last question for you guys. If you guys could just play, you guys played around the whole world, but if you could play in like an imaginary, made-up world, anything goes. Any type of, your fan base could be a fucking shark man. What would be like the perfect setting to play your music, and what type of people or creatures would you like to play in front of?
Marcus will be great for this question.
You know,
oh man.
I'm not that quick with it. I think we do one. I think we already did. And for me, not that crazy, but we played in Singapore one time. There was a free show out in the park, and dude, thousands of kids came up and just. And you know, it was our first time in Singapore, thinking like, dude, you don't speak the language. Like, what is this? We're getting all these rules about you can't, you know, don't spit, don't all this stuff. You'll get caned for like, you know, inciting a riot. This whole night, it's like communism. You know what I mean? And then all of a sudden, all these kids came out, and there was every color, every creed, every race, every religion. You see dudes with turbans, you see Jewish cats, every religion, and it was like they were out there and they were singing like Youth of the Nation. And and then that was when it hit us. It was like,
that's a good one.
Wow,
that's amazing.
Because this was right after, I think it was after 9/11 when that happened too. So there was some division just between people just based on race and everything else. And I remember looking, you know, thinking about the whole thing after the promoter was talking to us, that these were people from, like Sonny was saying, different spiritual backgrounds, different religions, you know, everything. And they were all in the same place enjoying the music. Some of them didn't even speak our language, but they were still vibing on the same thing.
And we're thinking it's all Asian cast, but it's like that. The U.S. military, all these different military bases. So every type of person was there, and it was like, wow, we're actually, this is cool, man.
Well, dude, that was awesome. How'd you think the interview went? I mean, thank you.
Right on, brother.